This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 210 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's tip is sponsored by Eco Gold. You can find them at ecogold.ca. Enjoy today's tip. I'm Glenn the Geek, back with you from Lexington, Kentucky, and you're listening to Horse Tip Daily. Well, welcome back, everybody. I'm recording this early in the morning, so if I sound a little sleepy, that's probably why. My wife and I are getting ready to head out to go see a Highland Games this weekend. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on Horse Tip Daily, but we used to own an acting company, did medieval feasts for 10 years. There were about 20 members of the group. We sort of did the Benny Hill version of a medieval feast. It was a lot of fun, improvisational performing, and a lot of comedy, and we enjoy that kind of stuff. So off to the Highland Games this weekend. Well, today we have back with us for only the second time an eventer by the name of Cathy Wieschhoff. She is from Lexington, Kentucky, right here in Lexington. And she is known nationally and internationally for her competition, teaching, and training. She has ridden at the Rolex 4-star, Burley 4-star, and given clinics in England. You can also find Cathy teaching clinics here in the United States, as well as being a journeyman clinician for the O'Connor camps. And we'll be right back with this tip from Cathy Wieschhoff in just a moment, right after we speak about Eco Gold. I want you to stop by to ecogold.ca. They have a terrific website. And one of the things I like about their website and their products that they have on there is you can shop by riding style. They have different options at the top there. So you can choose riding style, whether you're dressage or hunter jumper or eventing. You can pick whichever riding style you want, and it will show you the products that best fit your discipline. I think that's a terrific way to do it. They have a great website with a lot of fantastic information. And as you know, because if you've listened to Horse Tip Daily before, you know that they do the high-performance saddle pads and horse boots that are non-slip, 100% breathable, and the ultimate in comfort and protection for your horse. And they're made with high-tech materials and a state-of-the-art design. Check out their fantastic website at ecogold.ca. Now, Cathy Wieschhoff.
The biggest thing about schooling cross-country ditches is that when I start the young horse doing this, I always walk around the ditch and let them see the ditch. Let them understand what it is, and as soon as they kind of quit looking at it and spooking at it, then I'll ask them to trot up to it, and I'll make sure that the ditch that I'm using is something small enough that I can push them over it from a standstill. Because at the end of the day, the horse just really has to understand that that dark hole is not going to come up and eat them, that they can jump over it. And I'll jump over it. Once I get them over it, I'll stop. I don't let them run away from the problem. I'll turn around, trot back over it, and as soon as they're comfortable with that particular ditch, then I'll allow them to canter it. And the biggest thing that I have to deal with a lot of times is that riders tend to look too far ahead, and you want to try to train yourself to look at the ground line or the takeoff rail of that ditch. So the horse canters right to the base of the ditch, and we're not chasing the horse over something that they're scared of, so that when we get to a competition, we can't count on them. Once they're comfortable with that ditch, I'll go to another ditch and see if I did my homework and try to just trot up to it. Again, just trotting, not cantering, not too fast. Let them see the ditch, push them over it, even if they slow down and have a little look. And by doing this consistently over several different ditches, you will begin to develop trust that the horse is going to jump it. The horse will develop a trust in you and a trust in the fact that nothing's going to come up out of that ditch and eat them. Once I have this accomplished with the horses, then I'll start to add a jump in front or a jump behind. I'll usually do the ditch and then 2 strides to a little vertical. And then I'll do the turn around and do the vertical 2 strides back to the ditch. And again, always concentrating that your eye is looking at the takeoff rail of the ditch so that the horse doesn't jump too far ahead. And if you train your horses this way over ditches, you can count on them in a competition for all your different types of ditch obstacles, your ditch rail ditches and your ditch and walls. Water jumps. Water jumps are something that horses have every reason to be scared of, because as they walk into the water or jump into the water, their feet are landing on a surface, number one, that looks funny, but then their feet go through the surface. And it's kind of like us missing when we are going downstairs and we thought there was one more and there isn't, or there was an extra one we didn't know about. So every single time I school water, it doesn't matter if I have an advanced horse or a baby horse, I always walk them in the water first, trot them around in the water, let them understand what the question is. Then I'll have a little canter in, canter out, and then introduce them with the jumping in and out of water by going through the water and jumping out first. And then again, I'll just turn around and then introduce them back into the water by jumping over the same jump they jumped out, back in again. And if we're fortunate enough to have a lot of different obstacles, you can move from your adjustable fences to some solid fences where you could have a log at the edge of the water and they could jump out over that and then turn around and jump back in. And again, once you've gotten that accomplished, after I do all that is then when I will introduce the horse to the bank in and out of water. And again, I'll just come in quietly at a trot, look at the bank, make sure your eye looks at the bank so you don't look too far ahead because you want the horse to make sure he sees the bank. Let him pop up. If that goes well, you can turn around and go back down in. If they got a little worried about it, I would do it the same direction again. And then I turn around and let them pop back down in with the understanding that you're always allowing the horse to see what the question is, and we're never asking them to do these questions too fast. And every single time after a competition, I go back and do the same process again with all my horses so that they stay confident jumping into water.
Well, thank you to Cathy for that tip on riding ditches. We appreciate that, and she'll be back with more tips coming up here soon. Well, we want to remind you again, I know I'm doing this every day, but we're just hoping that you stop by on June the 8th from 7 to 9 p.m. at horseradionetwork.com for the first ever Para-Webathon. It's a telethon that we're doing to help raise money for the para-equestrian team who is attending the World Equestrian Games. We would love to have you stop by and watch the program. It's a live video event, sort of Jerry Lewis-style telethon-like, except without the singing and dancing, I think. So if you could just stop by and take a look at it, we'd appreciate it. Learn a little bit more about these incredible athletes. 5 or 6 of them are going to be in here in the studios. We're recording this at the Alltech Studios here in Lexington, Kentucky. And we would love for you to stop by and take a look at it and call in and make a small donation, a large donation, whatever kind of donation you'd like. We would love for you to do that. That's at horseradionetwork.com, June the 8th from 7 to 9 p.m. And also, don't forget to check out all the other great shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com. Well, I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, stay safe, everyone.